Ricks.
So for those of you just joining us, this is the StarCraft 2 Community Team League Grand Final live event. If you haven't been with us throughout the rest of the season, this is the one time each season where we get together and we watch these teams duke it out live while they're playing the games, not from replays. We've been doing 2 shows a week for 12 weeks now? It's been a long, long road. I am Wingnut SC, and with me is Galligation. We are your hosts today. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at WingnutSC and at Galligation.
Yes.
We are in our second best of 7 match today. We've had one with Integrity Gaming versus Miraculous Gaming. We were joined by Grubby. That was a really awesome, fun time. If you missed that, it's a shame, but the VODs will be online later. You can check that out. Now we're in our second semifinal, going into game number 4 with a score of 2-1 in favor of MicroGamerZ. Got to keep all this
Which
stuff
side
out
is
here.
it?
But after this game, the loser will go on to the third place match, which we'll be going into, and then the grand finals will be after that with none other than Jeff In Control Robinson.
He will be joining us for those. That is correct. So for No Dice Gaming, we've got Spectre coming in. He is a Grandmaster Terran from the United States, and he plays for No Dice's Academy. He has high ambitions for his career in StarCraft 2. He's beat many top players in tournaments and plays in regular LANs, always performing well. This is his first clan war, his first clan war that he ever participated in. He had a reverse all-kill of Team Gravity, so that is nothing to sneeze at right there. And his opponent today is going to be Hexia from MicroGamerZ. Hexia is top 100 Grandmasters, a Korean Protoss. He took a break from StarCraft 2 to serve his time in the Army, but once his tour finished, he returned to his StarCraft 2 career. He's a macro player who enjoys his ability to outplay his opponent.
Sounds like it's going to be a good game, Galligation. It is going to be a PvT. We talked about that quite a bit with Grubby as well, and a lot of the different things that people are doing these days, which we've seen. Honestly, PvT has been probably the matchup we've seen the least this season. Yeah,
there's not been a lot of those for sure. It seems like we've got a lot of Zergs.
Yeah,
a lot of Zerg players this year, and that's great. I like seeing some Zerg games. You can have some cool stuff going that way. Surprisingly, for the number of Zergs, so few Swarm hosts.
Yeah.
Interesting trend.
Oh, and there was that one game where it's just like, I want to see Swarm hosts, but it just didn't happen. But I'm sure it'll happen at some point, but it definitely won't happen this game, as it's just not a possibility. We're going to be going into Merry Round. The game is loading, going on in. It is going to be No Dice Gaming Spectre versus MicroGamerZ Hexia. In the bottom side of the map, as there is no right or left, it is the red Terran. His name is Spectre. And in the top right-hand corner, representing MicroGamerZ, it is Hexia. Give me a moment here as I get all of the things set up. Them hotkeys. Yep. This different clan tag is really throwing me off here. Ooh, there we go. All right, we're all set. No production crew for the win, but we got this under control. It is going to be a PvT of the ages here. And so we've mentioned before, that merry-go-round is a tough map to take a third on, especially as Protoss, as is said again and again. Do you think that Spectre is going to be following the trend of 2 bases, or is he going to take his third? I don't know. I feel like this has been a map where we've seen a couple times. I think we've seen once or twice in SC2CTL. But watching some of the big tournaments like the MLG and whatnot, we've seen a lot of people sort of taking the other natural or the other main as sort of a sneaky base. Which can really pay off if you're not scouting those spots. If you're scouting just a normal base, you say, okay, I see 1 base, I see 2 bases, so I'm counting on a 2-base all-in timing. But then you don't know that there's a third base there, and then a totally different thing comes at you, and you have no idea what to do. But we'll see if we see that. It's been a pretty cool play. I like it on this map specifically. Honestly, I think it's really cool that Blizzard put in a different type of map in merry-go-round that has the 3-player option there.
Yeah, it's definitely a change of pace, and it seems to be, it's a fairly popular map. We've seen it a lot. It's not one of those that frequently gets vetoed, at least in this league. So a lot of fun to see games on.
I think most people just in general sort of like it. But SCV Scout coming into the base of Hexia, he's going to see normal things like a Cybercore and a Gateway. Also, you know, proxying is obviously always a case. This is a really, really awesome proxy spot here for Protoss to put a Stargate or something like that. Also, you know, you kind of see the same thing out of Terran. This is not as ideal for Terran here for proxy, I don't think, but
wow.
You know, proxy Widow Mines is pretty scary too. We've seen that quite a bit.
So it looks like Hexia was successfully able to block a command center there from Spectre. Spectre decides he's got a Marine there. He's going to nail it down and puts down his command center right next to it, so he'll have to lift it off. Hexia immediately canceling it to see if he can get a cancel from the command center to get it to move. Spectre does not take the bait, as that is a hefty fine for doing so.
Hexia, Spectre here kind of doing the same thing against Hexia too, putting down that bunker here to block the expansion of Hexia.
Yeah, Spectre now getting that out, as that SCV out, as well as the Mothership Core comes forward to try and expedite the removal of the engineering bay.
The Zappery. But the Mothership Core, yeah, it's definitely, Protoss does not have the advantage of being able to build your base anywhere and then end up just moving it when it's done.
It's true.
But the SCV is going to work its way all the way home, as he was able to escape with his life. As soon as this bunker goes down, it is going to get the cancel here any second as it goes... And it gets that 94 mineral refund. Nexus is going to go down. But behind it, not seeing anything too crazy yet, just a Stalker and a Mothership Core, lots of probes, and a Warp Gate.
Mm-hmm. Yep, indeedly. In the meantime, barracks play coming out from Spectre. 3 barracks are wrapping up here and doing a bunker at the front, so guarding his assets.
See what you did there?
Yep.
But this is a play that I've personally liked to do lately, and I've liked seeing is just kind of taking that one Stalker, maybe even making a Zealot also, and sending it across the map. This bunker here is going to sort of thwart it off, but there's actually nothing in it now except for 1 Marine, so Stalker actually could just kind of wander by and see what's there, but he's deciding he doesn't want to take that fight today. Ends up going on back, going to join up with his Mothership Core friend and just kind of move around here a little bit. Probe is moving down. Okay. Probe is standing still at the... sort of just outside the 3rd base-ish location, kind of deciding what he wants to do. Maybe going to put down a pylon of some kind. Robo is finishing up in the main base of Hexia, so it's fairly standard play here out of Protoss.
Hexia's Mothership Core is really kind of getting ballsy. They're moving in to try and see what the tech is. There's a small group of Marines that theoretically could have picked it off if it had gotten too much closer in, but decided not to get out of there.
Absolutely, and the natural expansion here of Hexia is done as well. It is being saturated with probes.
And Hexia getting 2 observers here, one right after the other. One is out and heading across the map. The other one is still in production. And adding on those gateways to continue to be able to make some units as they do.
Largely large number of Marines here out of Spectre. I mean, the robotics bay is going down as well, so we're going to see pretty quick Colossus here, as well as +1 being researched. That scan goes down, but does not catch anything. I mean, it catches the robo, but it doesn't catch the robotics bay, so smart for Hexia to kind of separate them out a little bit.
Yep. There's so many reasons to kind of spread your tech out. Scans are only one of them.
Marines walking right under the observer. It is pretty hard to see it there. Nothing but a ripple in the day, but you see the best of the best hunt out them observers all the time, so it will be... it's definitely good to have that there, though. I mean, he can see exactly what's moving out, so now he's got a little bit of time to prepare for that.
Yeah, and he's got a couple of sentries here, but there's really not a whole lot of army. And this is a fairly formidable force of Marines. Just about 17 here, so looks like he's going to have to get ready. Photon Overcharge is available if he gets a little too cheeky with these Marines.
Both players sort of playing chicken here. Who's going to come down and who's going to come up first, as the threat of force fields is there, actually showing his hand there saying, hey, I've got sentries, you don't want to do that.
That's right, so the Marines are going to be heading home.
This probe here is actually on a patrol path here on the top of this ramp and to the side here, just kind of... So, I mean, Hexia's actually done a really good job here of keeping tabs on what his opponent's doing. He's got a pylon here on the right side purely for scouting drops. He's got this probe here for covering the distance between that pylon and this observer. So, I mean, he's definitely not going to be surprised by any drops.
Yeah, he's definitely spreading that vision out, as you said, and wow, he's just got a lot of observers on the map. A total of 3, it looks like, right now.
Yeah. And he did just put a pylon down here on the left side. Not sure exactly what that's for. It's not as clear and easy to expand, but there are a lot of Marines coming in. Combat Shields is about half done. +1 is about to finish, so it looks like he's looking for a timing here to make this push up the ramp, but there is a Colossus. There are 4 sentries, lots of force fields.
Yeah, he's going to have to be real careful engaging this, and if possible, he's definitely going to want to try and take down that Colossus as fast as possible. I think he sees it. And
I honestly think he just doesn't even want to take that fight.
I don't know if I would if I were him, that's for sure. And scans to take out one of those observers. Looks like, yeah, he sees the other one. That one goes down as well, so that vision is evaporating very quickly. Second Colossus now adding into Hexia's army. Man, look at this vision across the map that Hexia has. That's great.
He does have a lot of vision, but one thing he doesn't have vision of is, well, now he just has vision of this expansion down here as he moves forward to put down a pylon just ever so like, wow, Spectre getting way out of position here. He's moving his army up to the upper left-hand side, and Hexia, if he kind of moves down to the right here, he could sort of take advantage of this in getting separated.
Yeah, it looks like he is going to end up losing this command center as these Hexia's forces are moving forward, and I think Spectre's going to try and take advantage of this to do some serious damage, but he's going to have to speed it up if he wants to get over there.
Yeah, I mean, and he cannot load all of this stuff into 2 medevacs. It's going to be fairly cramped in there. Extended thermal lances finishing. He has 2 Colossus. He's moving in. He's got a lot of stalkers and a lot of sentries. He can make a lot of force fields. Mothership core there as well, so he will be able to recall, and I expect he will when he sees this army in his main base.
In the meantime, there was also a drop in the main by Spectre. Didn't get a whole lot done just yet, is just kind of standing there, but is able to snipe that Nexus in the natural, but now Hexia moving into the main, and looks like a good old-fashioned base trade here, folks.
But is he going to go for the base trade, or is he going to recall? I don't know what is the better decision here. He has a pretty good army. I mean, really all there is for Spectre are a lot of Marines, so
he's going to have to hurry if he wants to recall, as that Nexus is falling, and it is gone.
Oh man, this is going to be a big commitment here for Spectre, and I don't know that it's exactly going to work out. He's got to keep these Colossus alive. These Colossus go down, he is going to be in big trouble. As long as he can keep them, he'll be doing all right. Now he's going to move up the map. He took out quite a lot of the army there, but I mean, Hexia does have a few buildings down here, but it's going to be harder to defend for him than it is for Spectre.
And the interesting part here, though, is that Spectre doesn't have any SCVs out. You know, they're all kind of in his main base, where Hexia has a large group of probes wandering the map. He's got lots of minerals, so he can rebuild if he needs to. Spectre, just main army just kind of hanging out, not really getting a whole lot done, focusing on this attack that's happening. Command center, it looks like it's going to be finishing up, but I don't know if it's going to be finishing up in time. Orbital command now lifting up and trailing away.
Yeah, the issue here for Hexia is that if he lets this orbital command get away, or any of these, I mean, some of these floating buildings are going to get away, so he is going to have to rebuild. And he's going to have to get some kind of flying unit unless Spectre just ends up GGing, which at this point I kind of doubt it, because he still does have a decent bit of army back here at the base of Hexia. So, I mean, this is going to be a good old-fashioned standoff here. I mean, Spectre knows that the Nexus is going to be going down here. He's not worrying about getting all of his buildings down. Probes contributing to the fight here.
Yeah, and it looks like now Spectre opting to move back and try and shut this down before it even gets started, seeing that this Nexus is being built back in his main, and all those probes there, does want to get some damage done before he loses the fight in the macro sense of the mining.
I mean, really, Hexia needs to get this Nexus up here so he can use his photon overcharge. He's at maximum energy on his mothership core, so I mean, that is the critical thing right now. If he can get that up, get the photon overcharge down, he will be able to defend this a lot better, because he only has 3 Stalkers, 2 Sentries, mothership core, and 2 Colossus. Right now, the Colossus are on the opposite side of the army, as they need to be. Allegation.
Oh, man, but that almost got scouted.
If he could have seen that drop and gone up there, that would have been some juicy, tasty something.
Picks. Yes. At any rate, Hexia continuing to take down these supply depots. And
Nexus is down. Photon overcharge is going to go down, but the mothership core is just standing out there, the Marines, and stimming up, trying to get the Colossus. One does go down. Second one not able to. Too much damage.
Oh, my goodness. And Hexia really taking it to Spectre there. Spectre forced to load up and get out, but the problem is that was the majority of his army. His opponent will be mining as of right now, and that is bad news, as mining is always better than not mining. It looks like Spectre did land his orbital command and is muling the Hex out of it, moving over the remainder of his army to try and defend that.
Yeah, there is mining happening here, but the thing is, Hexia knows about it.
Yeah. Well, I think that they both know where their respective things are. But the thing is, with Terran, is you can lift off your critical structures. And so now these barracks are landing. There's a tech lab being built, and they're going to start producing here relatively soon as he can open up some supply. But that is going to be tricky without the ability to build any SCVs. I guess they're not going to be doing a whole lot after all.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty interesting here because Spectre definitely has mobility on his side. He can kind of move around wherever, whereas Hexia is going to be trapped in his base here for quite a long time.
And this is really smart by Hexia here. He's moving a single probe up. He wants to get back up to where those warp gates are. He's going to put a pylon down so that he can get those immediately. And he does have supply. He has a little bit of money. He's going to be able to start making things again, even canceling one of the gateways that was being put down and putting down a cybernetics core. So this is looking very good for Hexia right now, unless Spectre can shut this down.
Yeah, the thing is, though, he does still have his mothership core, but it doesn't have enough energy for a photon overcharge yet. It needs 20-ish more energy, but Stim goes down, he's going to take out a gateway. But honestly, I am really, really surprised that Spectre forgot about those 4 gateways up there. He was killing all of that stuff and just left them.
Yeah, I don't think that he forgot about them. I think that he opted to leave so that he could try and shut down that Nexus before it happened, but he wasn't able to. And now he is, I don't think, he definitely doesn't know about this pylon. He does not know that they're functional at the moment, but if he did, then he could absolutely take those out. But my hunch is that he's not going to be worrying about that, and that might be a hindrance to him in the near future.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was going to say, is that now that the Nexus is up, he lost vision of Hexia, so he's definitely, if he did forget them, he may have kind of put them out of mind by now and not thought to go back. But, with the mobility he has, it would definitely be probably a good idea to go back and check on those, but he is sort of moving that way, going around. Not a lot of production, no production coming up for Spectre here, as he has no supply, therefore he cannot make any SCVs.
I do like what he's doing here. He's running around the map trying to take out any pylons that he can, because if he's able to take out pylons, he's able to shut down his opponent's ability to make anything, really. But Hexia's got the base kind of taken care of now. He's got it defended. He's building up. He's even putting down gases now. So this is slowly going to be a losing battle, I think, here for Spectre. He now is going to find that.
I mean, it's definitely going to be a losing battle because Spectre has to lose half of his army to make any economy. And there's no way around it because he has no SCVs. 0.
Yeah, usually the mining, and by usually I mean the mining player always beats the non-mining player. Unless there's no army to defend it, I guess.
That's why he's using his scans, too. He could use mules, but, he's got money. He's got almost 1,200 in the bank, but he just can't spend it.
Yeah, well, he wasn't able to get an SCV out of there. And without mules are great and all, but they can't build anything.
So, now what?
Now what, indeed? This is just going to turn into a long game of Hexia mining, building things, and then getting an army that can crush Spectres.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to lock the camera on this mothership core, and we're going to go have lunch. Just kidding.
That would be
not gonna do that.
Incredibly boring.
But honestly, I think Hexia is just going to kind of sit back until he can get some gateways up, until he can get some units, maybe even go for Blink. That would be probably a pretty good idea to be able to get some of these warp. But the medevac's dropping in the main base. Is he going to be able to get anything down? Nope, just going to kind of...
He did lose a single Marine there, which, not ideal when you can't make any more.
But at the same time, it's only going to get... We talked about this in a stalemate standoff we had the other day. It's only going to get worse for him at this point. There's literally nothing he can do because he can't make any SCVs to make economy. So every moment that goes by, Hexia has more, and Spectre has the same exact amount. So he has to do something right now if he's going to have any chance, which, let's be honest, he doesn't really have much of a chance at this point.
Well, he is moving forward, and that Colossus is there to greet him. He's going to pull back again, and, Spectre's just trying to find any opportunity that he can to move in to do any damage, and it looks like...
Blink is now going down at the Twilight Council. Definitely a good idea to give a little bit of extra mobility to these Stalkers. Warp gates opening here.
Yeah, Spectre is now sending out a hallucinated Phoenix to try and check around the map just to make sure that he's not missing something. I think that he's pretty concerned. There's a probe running around as well. He's got vision on this orbital command that's not doing a darn thing. He's got vision, or at least he knows that these barracks are down here and landed, but I think that he's a little bit perplexed, doesn't quite understand just yet the situation that Spectre is in, although after that hallucinated Phoenix, he might have an idea.
Yeah, I mean, we have to be honest. Hexia doesn't know everything we know, so he doesn't know. I mean, yes, he is an observer over that orbital command, and one would assume that if you have an orbital command just sitting there with all kinds of energy, you'd be like, you either have 5 of these somewhere else,
right,
and just don't need this, and it's just troll command center, or you're not doing anything. And I think players at this level that we're watching here definitely would have an idea that Spectre's just kind of not doing anything. Dark Shrine, when way ahead.
Well, why not, right?
Dark Shrine. And Hexia here is going to mine out Spectre's base for him.
Yeah, now going to be doing some remote mining as he doesn't quite have enough. And looks at that, he's going to take an opportunity. Does pick off a single Zealot, as he did have some vision thanks to that leftover refinery.
I mean, the food count here is getting kind of silly. It's 62 to 23 now in favor of Hexia. Hexia could literally just walk out and face smash this.
Yeah, I mean, he could. And it looks like he's getting ready to, although...
And at the same time, if he gets too far out of position, it wouldn't take a whole lot for Spectre to come and drop in the main base of Hexia and take out quite a bit as well. But he does have the Mothership Core there. He does have Photon Overcharge, but that's not going to kill, 2 medevacs worth of units. So he's going to make a try at it, though.
Yeah, he's boosting in, and Photon Overcharge does go down.
Target that medevac. There you go.
Whew.
Yeah.
That's a big pick off for right now, too.
I was hoping that he was going to take that and target that medevac down. That medevac's been asking to die for a long time. The number of sentries here is just insane now. I mean, he's getting a lot of sentries, and we're down to only a few units here, but Spectre still does need to lose 10 more supply in order to make an SCV. Actually, I take that back. He needs to lose 12 more supply.
I mean, if he was going to do it, he should have done it by now, but I think doing that would give kind of the keys to the gate here for Hexia, and look at all those sentries. Does get down the Colossus, so that's a big pickup, but is losing some units to do it.
I mean, Spectre's just kind of taking advantage of the fact that Hexia just can't move out. I mean, I still don't see a way that Spectre comes back into this, but...
Right, I don't either, but he's going to try and take down this Nexus to prevent further mining. Perhaps he was hoping that he could shut down pylons long enough to not allow his opponent to do any rebuilding, and oh no, lost another one.
Solar Conspiracy in chat saying he should gamble and kill off his Marines and build a damn SCV.
That is, if he was going to do that again, I feel like it's way past time to have done that. Now the orbital command is lifting up, and to be honest, I don't quite understand why these medevacs don't have any health. If you can't build anything anyway, why would you not? Oh, geez, he lifted off the orbital command, and now he's getting taken out by this DT.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's rough.
And that's smart for Hexia just to kind of leave the DT there in order to stop those drops, because, I mean, by now Hexia knows, okay, you don't have anything. Yes, I can't really move out to get you, but, you don't have anything.
Yep. So,
but the food count is getting closer. Spectre's almost able to make a worker.
Yeah, and Hexia, as we said, has eyes on everything that's going on. Oh my goodness! Whoa!
12.
There's
HP.
the mule call down. I was waiting for that because, I mean, if you've got all these minerals, then why are these medevacs not at full health?
Yeah,
when you've got energy on your orbital command, you can't do anything.
You don't need money,
right? That's literally the only thing that you can use your money for, and it's critical. But now that DT is taking some swipes at the orbital command, it does lift off. So he's not going to be able to land that again without getting some swipes taken.
Should have warped in 2 DTs here, because then he could have sent those across and then eventually turned them into an Archon to be able to, he really only needs to take like 3 shots on this orbital command in order to get it burning, and he would have to land it in order to drop mules too. But here comes the final engagement. It looks like mules doing their best to not attack anything because they have no attack, and GG. Whew.
GG for Hexia.
That was a long one.
That was a long one. But, sometimes those games have to go long. Base trades are an interesting bunch. And, I mean, it's such a gambling situation when both of you are on kind of the knife's edge of such low supply, such low economy. You really want to make the most of it. You don't want to give up a game that you potentially could have won due to an opponent's slip-up. So I can see why Spectre wanted to stay in it, especially if you could get a win from a back, I mean, obviously from a really behind position, but every win counts at this stage.
Right, it certainly does. And that was there's really not much to talk about about that game. It was a pretty simple base trade there. I mean, they were moving out at the same time and just kind of went for it. The one thing I wonder, though, is I mean, it obviously worked out for him, so, I mean, I wouldn't second-guess his decisions, but I wonder what would have happened if Hexia would have ended up recalling.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, there's no way to know now, unless we resume from a replay and ask the players to try and play it out, which we're not going to do, because who would want to do that?
We're absolutely not going to do that.
We're going to go into the next game, and so that is going to put our score at 2-2 now.
It is, absolutely, and we are going to take a quick break.